In this video, we're going to talk about the timeline to foreclosure in California. The timeline to foreclosure in California is very simple because it gets started when one thing happens. It gets started when a notice of default is filed and recorded against your property. This is what a notice of default looks like. It's going to look very similar to this. It's going to have the same sort of block lettering. It's going to say notice of default. It's going to have pursuant to the California Code 2923.3. And then it's going to have a bunch of information. This is a little bit upside downish, but this is the default date and the default amount. Just trying to give you an idea of what it looks like. Now, if you're in California and you receive this notice of default, you have 90 days to cure your default. In 90 days, if you do not cure your default, they can then set a foreclosure sale date, which in California, again, is called a trustee sale date. So you're looking at 90 days for the notice of default. 21 days is the quickest they could record the notice of trustee sale. So if you want to know what a timeline to foreclosure is in California, it's 111 days from the date that the notice of default is filed. Now, it doesn't always have to be exactly 111 days, but 111 days is the quickest from the time that the foreclosure document is started. Again, the notice of default is started into the end. So the notice of default, which runs for 90 days, which gives you a cure for 90 days, meaning you have 90 days to cure your default, is recorded with the county that you're in, and that's when the clock starts, okay? How do you know a notice of default has been filed? Well, they send it to your house via certified mail. And another way you're gonna know is, guess what? Your phone is gonna start ringing and people are gonna start knocking on your door, and your mailbox is gonna be full of notices. The reason is the second the notice of default is filed, it is recorded with the county, it becomes public record, and there are tons of people out there, solicitors, who will always be looking at the county records to determine whose house is in foreclosure. The second they find out that your house is in foreclosure, guess what? You become a potential client of theirs and they will solicit you. So oftentimes you may get calls about your house being in foreclosure before the notice of default has time to even get to you, because their phone calls or door knockings may beat the amount of time it takes for the post office to get to you via certified mail. A third way that you could know that your house is in foreclosure and a notice of default has been filed is if you're in communication with your lender, okay? If you're behind on your mortgage, you should be in constant communication with your lender. It is not smart to dig your head in the sand. Of course, you can be in touch with them through a professional, through an attorney's office like ours at Sternberg Law Group. But if you receive a notice of default, it is very important because that starts the foreclosure clock from ticking. You need to be in touch with a professional. This is the timeline to foreclosure, is what we covered here. One more time, notice of default, 0 to 90 days. Notice of trustee sale can be set after the 90 days. 21 days there later is 111 days. So your foreclosure process timeline in California is roughly 111 days from the time the notice of default is filed. Hope that helps everybody. If you need more information, contact Sternberg Law Group, set up your own free consultation. We're always happy to speak to you. We have these type of conversations all day, believe it or not. I hope you're well. Thank you.